Okay.
Hi, Lajo and Rani. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this interview very promptly. When I spoke to Lajo, he told me he'd like to talk about landscape as a material. So I'd like to ask you,
That's right.
what do you enjoy about landscape, and like, what was your first experience with it?
Uh, so this talk is all about materials, and we see landscape as a material inside of it. We, the way say wall texture or probably a metal structure, we use landscape in our project the way we use a material. So
I've seen that.
it's the
Yeah.
application, yeah, and the application changes. You can use metal in several ways in different projects. So similarly, landscape can be applied in different ways, and the way it demands. If a metal facade is not required in a project, you wouldn't want to use it, right? Because ours is a tropical climate, and many times it's quite hot outside and humid as well. So what we try to do is we kind of try to create a certain microclimate inside or parts of the house, and when you have this landscape inside the house, it brings down the temperature, and when wind passes through this courtyard, it kind of filters itself, and then you have filtered air coming into the house as well. So you have quite a good quality of breeze coming inside the house, as well as cooler breeze coming into the house. That is one of the reasons why we primarily kind of like to use landscape in our projects.
Most people would be hesitant about having a good landscape because the maintenance, the cost of it.
Correct, correct. Pretty
Uh,
much. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, in some ways it's also scary because landscape is pretty much in an external area. We tell them, though we bring these landscape pockets into the house, we should kind of essentially consider them as external areas, because we don't generally give skylit landscape areas in our projects. The moment you give skylit landscape areas in our project, what happens is heat get trapped in that kind of, it gives you the greenhouse effect, and it becomes quite hot in a climate like ours. Ours is quite tropical, quite hot and humid, and then you don't want again heat getting trapped inside your house. So skylit courtyards are quite easy because it keeps away all the rodents, birds, butterflies, everything away. But then the kind of courtyards that we prefer to give are open to sky courtyards, and with perforated walls and all that. So they are like external gardens. So it's just that get to enjoy them inside your house. It's an external area that you get to enjoy inside your house, and it comes with all the positives, advantages, and disadvantages that
having an external
of
that,
having an external courtyard. You have rodents coming in, you might have even reptiles coming in. But the beautiful part is that you have birds and bees and butterflies also coming in. So,
yeah. But we make sure that each client is well aware of what they're getting,
correct.
and we spend a lot of time talking to them to understand exactly what level they can handle it. So we don't give the same kind of a detail for every client and every design. We make sure that the client is up to that mark to handle.
Green wall.
what would be your advice to designers working in smaller spaces? If the client enjoys greenery inside their house and wants to create pockets, what is the best way to create them, and how can we make sure that they're sustainable? Because we don't want the plants to die because we don't take care, or forget to water them. And also, like, the other question is of the sunlight, because there isn't that much
Okay.
sunlight into an apartment. So how can one go about that? What would be your tips and tricks on that aspect?
Okay. Most of these plants, they demand a different quality of sunlight and the amount of water and the kind of maintenance
care,
required, the fertilizers that are used. They're all different for each plant. We have seen that there is a lack of natural light. In such projects or in such spaces, we have got to make sure that we choose the right kind of plants for that space, because there are these indoor plants that does not require too much sunlight, and if at all exposed to too much of light, also it dies off. And most of these plants have to be watered only once a week, or maybe even minted alone, and not to be watered too much because the roots tend to kind of die off or decay.
And do you have like a favorite plant that you like to use when you're doing inside the house that you recommend and go like, this one works best because it's really easy to maintain and it's very easy to take care of?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't say we have a favorite plant or anything. But then what we have found is the typical money plant, it does survive the most. Even people with black thumb can kind of take care and keep the light for quite some time. So that way, that is one of those plants. Then there are lots of species which are quite out there in the market, which can be taken care of pretty easily these days. that is not an issue.
When you're designing for a retail project and you want to incorporate like
Okay.
a landscape in it, how do you go about it? Like, what do you think of it, and how do you decide what kind of elements to incorporate?
See, it depends on the project and the kind of products they would want to showcase. If it's a retail project, see internally, many a times when these products are kind of prone to moisture, you need to really be careful about the kind of plants that you select and how you would want to bring in the landscape. So, as I said in the beginning, you should not force. The tip is, you should not force a landscape into a project. It should come effortlessly. And you should, first of all, figure out whether it has got a place in the project. If you kind of, spot a place, or rather if you can identify a kind of a need for a landscape in a project, it's only then that you bring in landscape. Because otherwise, if you force landscape into any space because many of us tend to, or probably I've had clients who come to us saying that I need a lot of greenery. But then they don't know the kind of, disadvantages of having, the kind of the maintenance that comes with landscape. So the moment they realize it, they don't want it. And similarly, talking about a retail space, it depends on what kind of retail space it is and what products are being showcased there. And we have done a boutique where we have used a few plants, but then very minimally.
Right. And have you, in your past projects, so when you were starting out, did you have any kind of mistakes which you learned from, or where the clients also learned from, that you'd like to share with the audience to learn from as well?
Yeah, sure. Earlier we used to kind of, completely open these landscape to the exterior, probably with just a grill. And, when you do that, like I mentioned earlier, these reptiles or rodents and every sort of thing come in. And of course, many of us are scared of reptiles. Some of us are scared of snakes, some of us are scared of cockroaches, and even say all sort of insects, and that may kind of want to live in a beautiful courtyard. So earlier we used to kind of completely open them, and then some of our clients have really got scared seeing snakes and all that inside the courtyards. And now we ask them, how they are towards nature and all that. And based on that, we kind of give some protective layering, not completely, but then we try to bring in birds, but then we try to kind of keep away the creepy crawlies. So we have made mistakes in the initial period where the clients would have wanted to kind of close off certain parts. And then when you close off, what happens is this courtyard does not work as it was intended. So now we have learned to kind of, design it the way most of clients may use.
What sets apart a good landscape and a great landscape?
A difference between a good and a great landscape, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, see, great landscape happens where the clients are willing to take care of it, and clients love being a part of it. And we have had clients who thoroughly enjoy being in these courtyards. So what they do is they kind of pull their dining tables into the courtyard, and then sometimes have these lovely family dinners in them. So, and I've also had clients who keep their windows or doors into the courtyard open while sleeping at night. I would say those are great landscapes where clients thoroughly enjoy them, and then the clients are ready to be a part of the landscape rather than the landscape being a part of you.
Right.
Good landscape is if something that is detailed well and survives a longer period of time. Any such landscape is good. Even the smallest of landscape in a project makes a huge difference, because in biophilic architecture, the moment you are connected to another species, it does kind of create that kind of positive energy in you. So you take a walk inside a park for 5 minutes, it really refreshes you, right? Just imagine living inside such an area. Yeah. So we have done this project called the Regimented House, where we have a forest inside the house, literally inside the house. Wow. Yeah. So
it's like more like owning a dog.
Yeah.
As long as you love it, it's going to be a great pleasure. It's a companion to you. But then if you don't like it, then there's no point in having it. There comes a big headache. So that way you have to love it, and then definitely
no, yeah. There are a few people who buy a dog and they realize that they are not made for it, and then they get rid of the dog. Similarly, we have had clients who have wanted the great landscape inside their houses, and after kind of really living with it, realize that this is not for them. So we have had such clients as well. So,
Did you have to plan the irrigation system in advance, or is that something that happens in due process once you've designed and freezed on your layouts or freezed on the greenery that you're going to be using?
no, no. The moment you think of a landscape, you've got to think of these things. You put in a landscape and then you don't bring in irrigation or probably drainage. No, you figure out whether that is possible. If that is not possible, you don't bring in a landscape. Unless and until it can be drained out or probably irrigated naturally, or irrigation you can even do artificially. But then draining, especially in Kerala, when you have an open to sky courtyard, we have very strong monsoon here in Kerala, and then you've got to really take care of the drainage. So we give landscape in projects only when we can solve this, or rather we assure that we can solve this.
Yeah. Okay. I have a last question for you. So what would be some good general tips for people who are beginning or probably doing their first landscape project? What would you tell them to look out for or keep in mind when they're planning their design?
Yeah. So first, as I said earlier, it's like, owning a dog. You should really know whether you really need it and whether you can take care of it. It's a living being, so when you bring in plants, it should not die off. So whether everyone may like a landscape, but then the question is whether you are ready to live with landscape. So that's the first tip. The second tip is, of course, like I mentioned earlier, like we mentioned, you should not force a landscape into a project. The project should call out for a landscape. It should cry out for a landscape, and as designers, we can spot that, we can really, spot the need of a landscape. Only such projects should you put in landscape. You should not force a landscape.
When it comes to landscape, most of them have got different species depending on the sunlight and the quality of space in which it is being planted. So, each plant requires a different quality of water as well, so amount of water. So, certain plants require watering once in a week. Certain ones have to be watered every day. So, most of these indoor plants have to be really taken care of in that sense, because if there's too much water, the root tends to decay. And if there are certain plants, when they have too much light, they tend to kind of yellow. So all these things have to be taken into a factor.
So example, the clients agreed, you see that there is potential, but as in when you go by the projects, like different challenges have come up and you figured that this was a challenging project and then you learned a whole lot in that project. Has there been any kind of those projects that you have worked on?
We've not had that kind of experience, but then one experience we've had is, initially when we were designing a project, the client wanted a kind of a lush green landscape garden inside the house. And then we started off with that kind of design. And then eventually, the client had cold feet, and then the lady of the house did not want that kind of landscape because she was scared of snakes and reptiles. She only realized it when that spaces got built. And then she wanted these very minimal Zen-like garden inside that house. That house was designed for a tropical garden. And you can't have a kind of a very minimal garden in that space. The moment you have that, what happens is a lot of sunlight gets inside into the floor gets warmed up, the walls inside the space gets warmed up, and eventually the house gets heated up. So, I would say, you should not change your ideas once the project is into construction. Any change that you want to make should be made during the design stages itself. We have had trouble that way in some of our projects. Would like it to go into.
Okay, thank you so much for taking out the time. I think it was a very insightful time. And thank you and
Pleasure is ours as well.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much. Bye.